When students of any age begin to learn the piano, they need to learn some finger dexterity, or how to move fingers individually from the other ones in order to play the piano and to play it correctly. So I always give my students a few finger exercises, no matter their age, if they are a complete beginner to the piano. So I'm going to show you how to do these finger exercises at home. And if you do them every day, your fingers will eventually gain strength so that you're able to play the piano. So let's talk about our finger numbers. So finger numbers start with number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for each hand. So I always have kids put it together, wiggle 1, wiggle 2, wiggle 3, wiggle 4, and wiggle 5. I start out on the piano bench and I start making movements with each of the fingers to make sure that they can move independently. You won't have a problem with number 1 or 2, also number 3, but then we get to pesky number 4. Number 4 is difficult to move alone, so I have students bring number 4 back and forward and back and forward. And if they can, make little tiny taps, but that's really tough. Then we get to number 5, and number 5, move that around as well. Now we're ready to go to the piano and put these finger numbers into action. Now that you know your finger numbers, we're either going to put them in middle C position, which is 2 thumbs sharing on middle C, or in C major position, which is where your number 5 finger is on the C below middle C. I'm going to stay in middle C position. So remember when you first put your hands on the piano that you want a nice curved fingers. If you're playing like this, so you can see the top of your nails, then your hands are too flat. You want to be able to play on this side of your finger, which is your fingertip. So we're going to put our hands in middle C position, prepared to play. Now, we're going to start with our right hand from C to G. And one thing that I want you to be aware of is when you push down a note, that your other fingers do not pop up. If your fingers look like this when you're playing, then you need to work harder at keeping your fingers on the keys. So I want you to think of them as if they are stuck to the keys. And when you push a note down, just that finger pushes it down and then come up. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So we start at number 1 and we're going to go to number 5 and come back with each finger pressing down a note. Here we go. And then we'll try the other hand. Now, whichever hand is your non-dominant hand is probably going to be a little bit more difficult, and you'll probably see more lifting of the fingers as you go, but really just concentrate on going slowly so that your fingers are hovering above the keys. Here's our left hand. After you've done that several times individually, we're going to now put hands together. As this gets easier and easier, you can slowly increase your speed. But do not sacrifice the good form. As you go faster, if your fingers start coming up like this as you're playing, you're going too fast. And there's a lot of tension in your hands. So every once in a while, if you're really experiencing tension in your hands, and you'll feel that right here in this muscle, just kind of shake them, wiggle them around, and let them float to the keys. As a beginner, it's important to do exercises just like these to work on individual finger movements. I recommend that beginners start with these exercises at least 3 times a day, and after a couple of weeks, then your fingers will be really ready to play. It's something that anybody can do and something that will help increase your strength and your dexterity.